of reporting, but the other shoe has finally dropped for a Johnstown mental health facility. The state has announced it has closed Clearview, a 92-bed hospital. Tonight, our Tony Kovaleski is hearing from the governor and attorney general about what's next for Clearview.
They weren't protecting people.
Colorado's attorney general.
Their management was irresponsible.
In 3 simple phrases explaining why the state closed Clearview.
It wasn't a safe place for patients.
And that's what led to these actions. You are watching exclusive video, something that hasn't happened in more than 17 years, and some state sources say it may have never happened before. Patients getting removed from a state mental hospital. It all follows nearly 2 years of former patients and family members reaching out to Denver 7, filing complaints, and asking the state to step in.
Clearview needs to be shut down.
Hopefully they shut it down.
I want them shut down.
Clearview needs to be shut down.
Courageous insiders, patients, family members have been saying, shut this place down for 20 months. Why did it take this long?
Unfortunately, for those who are on the outside frustrated, my message is sometimes our legal processes take time. They got second, maybe arguably third and fourth chances. They weren't able to take the actions necessary, and now they're going to be closed down.
Help people understand what was the final straw.
It's cumulative for sure. Previously, there were sanctions for the sorts of issues you reported on, but it was this final straw of failing to protect patients during the time of COVID that led the state to say, we can't have this anymore.
And earlier in the day, Colorado's governor also sending a message on the state's potentially unprecedented move to close a hospital.
I hope that for all the providers, this is a wake-up call about the seriousness of their responsibility to meet the needs of their patients.
So the question now, how is the management of Clearview responding to the state's actions? Well, we don't know. Calls to Clearview in Johnstown, calls to their corporate office in Tennessee, and a call to their regional VP of operations living here in Colorado all produced no response and no comment. Jason?
Tony Kovaleski tonight. Thank you so much.
Insiders are calling it an historic move. Nearly 2 years after Denver 7 investigates first exposed problems with patient care inside Clearview Behavioral Health, the state suspended its license and shut it down.
We've aired more than a dozen reports exposing critical failures behind closed doors at Clearview, including accusations of Medicare and Medicaid fraud, holding patients longer than medically necessary, even accusations of staff stealing from patients.
And we've uncovered the death of a father of 2 who was given powerful drugs and left unattended. Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski has been uncovering the truth since January 2019. Tony, this started with one dad, one patient.
And one phone call, Ann. His son was being kept inside against the family's wishes longer than they wanted. He started the story. Dozens of others called with other even more disturbing complaints, all describing Clearview as a business focused on profit and not patients.
There was an immediate threat to life and limb.
And that's why the state took the most serious action possible.
When we entered the facility, we immediately identified significant violations.
And this video confirms the concerns discovered by the state. Our cameras rolled as patients were removed from the facility. The decision came just a few days after the state conducted a surprise inspection. It came after inspectors got a clear view of what was happening inside. Problems so significant, the state made the decision to close Clearview.
Effective today, they are no longer in operation.
The move follows months of complaints from patients, family members, current and former employees, all asking the state to hold the owners of Clearview accountable.
Are you saying that they billed for services they didn't provide?
Correct, especially group therapy sessions.
Who's making the decision on discharges? Is it the medical professionals or the money managers, the administrators?
The administrators that are making the decision, and nobody says anything.
What does that say to you?
That it's all wrong.
2 insiders have said to us that this man, this father, didn't deserve to die.
No, he did not.
If he were better cared for, would he be alive today?
Certainly more than likely.
Denver 7 has confirmed a former employee filed a complaint that sparked the most recent unannounced visit. His accusations included fraud and violating patient rights.
This organization was not able to operate the facility in a safe and appropriate manner on an ongoing basis.
Has the state ever done this before?
No, Tony, at least in my 17 years here at CDPHE, we have never closed a behavioral health hospital.
Now, the state also telling us they found a lack of infection protection for COVID-19 in the facility during its inspection last week. We reached out to Clearview for a comment. When we identified ourselves on the phone, the call taker hung up. Attorney General will now continue the investigation and the process of officially closing Clearview.
They have to stop what they're doing.
Tonight, more accusations and an aggressive legal maneuver aimed at a northern Colorado mental health hospital.
And the whole time I'm going, I should be out of here. This is crazy.
For more than a year, the Contact 7 investigators have exposed serious failures inside Clearview, a mental health facility in Johnstown.
It's a scary feeling that you can be held knowing that you shouldn't be here and you're being held against your will.
Our reporting has been followed by resignations of top managers and multiple state and federal investigations.
Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski is here with the story of another patient and the actions of his legal team.
I received zero help.
It's a story we continue to hear.
It's basically being locked away and told you can't leave.
Angelo Scolari spent 10 days inside this mental health hospital. Did you let administrators at Clearview know you wanted to leave?
Absolutely.
Were you kept longer than you wanted to stay?
Absolutely. I'm telling them, you need to call the police. I mean, you're holding me here illegally. You're kidnapping me, basically.
His mental health crisis started with a 72-hour hold. His memories paint a picture of what he experienced inside Clearview.
I saw a doctor for 2 minutes a day at the most, unsanitary conditions, being in a room with a clogged toilet for 2 days, trying to eat food on sticky trays and dirty plates, your feet sticking to the floor. It was not a good situation at all.
And he is not the only courageous former patient questioning Clearview. During the past year, Contact 7 Investigates has listened to the same story from patient after patient.
They were holding people all the way until their insurance literally ran out.
I went to a facility because I needed help. I needed therapy. I needed doctors. And none of that was provided. Not a single bit of it.
What should taxpayers know about this facility?
That they're paying for a facility that ain't providing help.
Outrage and disappointment that has led family members to call for action.
They've had plenty of visits by the regulatory agencies, and they've really shown that they're not able or willing to make the corrections that they need to make.
What needs to happen?
Clearview needs to be shut down.
A year of testimonials that Angelo discovered months after leaving Clearview.
I called my wife and I said, that's exactly what was happening to me. I told you that was what was going on, and look, here it is. It's happened to other people.
It's abusive. Never seen anything like this.
Denver-based attorney Jay Reinen has heard concerns raised by Angelo and more than 60 former patients, family members, along with current and former Clearview employees, all reported by Denver 7. Concerns forming the foundation of this lawsuit against Clearview's owner, Strategic Behavioral Health.
Why is it that the government leaves it to the media and to the lawyers to regulate when that's their statutory job?
In the 19-page lawsuit, Scolari's legal team describes what it calls Clearview's history of fraud and accuses the mental health facility of negligence, false imprisonment, outrageous conduct, and racketeering.
If they continue to do this to people like my client, then the court has the opportunity and the ability under the racketeering statute to shut them down.
It's a message of accountability, a legal move giving a voice to the voiceless.
It makes me emotional that, myself and people are going to this hospital for help and that they're not getting any help. To know that somebody's doing that for profit or whatever reason they're doing it for, it makes me, it upsets me. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Investigations into Clearview continue by state and federal agencies, including a criminal investigation into the questionable death of a father of two. Also, back in June, the state of Colorado announced it wanted to revoke Clearview's license. An administrative law judge is scheduled to make that decision later this year. Ann?
And Denver 7 reached out to Clearview's ownership and local legal team for a comment on tonight's report. Both were unable to provide reaction to the lawsuit.